Yeah, we in the building for the Super Bowl picks. KC in Philadelphia is in the building. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts is about to get busy in the Super Bowl. And I'm thinking, like, listen, both of these offenses are very powerful. Even though Mahomes skated by the Bengals, they skated. They just slipped by due to a penalty that I know my man's still at the crib crying about. I know he's still at the crib crying. And he buckled his knee when he did it, right after he did the penalty. Oh, yeah. We don't care. I know the team, but we don't care. We don't care that you hurt over there. I hope you hurting. You hurting? Good. You shouldn't have been pushing people out of bounds. Because other than that, I think that game made it win the overtime, and then maybe we have a different result. But either way, you got it, Mahomes and Hurts is in the Super Bowl. But listen, I'm just going to tell you, even though it was against my 49ers, and I think that 49er game could have went differently had Brock Purdy not got hurt in the first two, because I'm just going to tell you, Philadelphia came down, they scored, and Purdy, I mean, he was on his way back down the field, looking cool, calm, collected. First two passes, he was looking very cool and confident, and that 49ers offense was starting to move down the field. Unfortunately, he got hurt. But Josh Johnson wasn't enough to fill the void of that. And unfortunately, it just piled on after that. But I'm just going to say that offense looked so powerful. Even though the 49ers defense showed up shortly after that. Like the 49ers defense turned on. Like the Philly went down on them quick. And then 49ers, they battled back and did this, that, and the other. Then 49ers scored. But the 49ers defense held for a good amount of time. But then the floodgates opened. And it was just on and popping. That before that second half, when my man Josh Johnson fumbled, I knew that was the end of the game, unfortunately. But I'm just going to say, it's like, it looks like with this Philly offense that you could have a great defense and it'll hold. But at some point, it's like duct tape. Duct tape is some strong tape. But put enough pressure on that duct tape and it get to peeling. You know what I'm saying? It get to peeling at a certain point. And that's what it looked like is going to happen to Kansas City. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just giving of some of the other opinions, and you going off how this went. Like when Kansas City played San Francisco in that Super Bowl before that, I'm so angry that Jimmy Garoppolo was not able to bring home. I didn't realize that Patrick Mahomes did not play that great of a game in both Super Bowls he was in. They was talking about this on Undisputed. His average QB rating is like 77, but in both of the Super Bowls he played on, one of them was like 62 and the other one was like 52. He seemed to get a little less efficient in the Super Bowl, but I think that it means one of two things. He's going to have a breakout Super Bowl game, or he's going to dip back into that inefficiency and feel the pressure. But I think it's just going to come down to, I don't think Patrick Mahomes, even if he does, his QB rating does go down and this, that, and I still think he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to make some big plays when big plays are not expected, right? It's going to be like 3rd and 17, and it's going to be like, oh, what are they going to do? Whatever, they might as well give it. Oh, Mahomes goes and throws it behind his back, over his shoulder, catches it, throws it through his leg, alley-hoop to somebody down the field, touchdown. He always do that. I don't care if he could be having the worst game ever, and he going to pull one of them out and hit you with it. And you know what I'm saying? You thought you was up 14-3, and then now it's 14-10. You know what I'm saying? You confused. You don't know what just happened, and then don't let their defense make a stop and get them back in the game. So I think it's going to be a close game, but the way that Philly offense is looking, the teams are eerily similar. They both 16-3. They both look eerily similar. But I think Philly is going to edge it out. I think it's going to be a really close game, but I think it's probably going to be, 7 points or less that Philly wins by. But I think they both gonna have some defensive stops, some maybe some turnovers, interceptions, or fumble here and there, this, that, and other, right? But I think just when it comes down to it, like they say, Philly has a lot of them chances where they third in this, 35, and third in this, and they convert. They convert a lot of times, and they make it real hard for you to get them off the field quickly. And y'all know how that time of possession go. When you able to hold the ball and run the clock down and still able to put it in the end zone, that's the key. So you can hold the ball and do all of that and this, that, and other and keep coming up with field goals or, have to punt it or whatever. But see, they don't do that often. They both of these teams seem to be able to put some time on the clock, but then score the ball. You know what I'm saying? But more so in my observation, and I haven't watched every game and nothing like that, but more so in my observation, Philly just seems to be gaining momentum, especially against my 49ers, which I cried in the car about. They just seem to be picking up steam, the same steam that they had in the beginning of the season when they was rocking. You know what I'm saying? And how crazy is that my Detroit Lions almost beat them in the first week, 48-45, right? So I'm not saying they're not able to be beaten. They definitely able to be beaten. You see they got 3 losses. You know what I'm saying? But it just, under the circumstances, I don't know. I think KC skated past the Bengals, and it was a very close game. I just felt like going into that game, I didn't feel like in them last minutes of the game that it should have been tied, because I just felt like KC was going to hit the gas and do some of them plays that they normally do and just pull out the win that you would expect them to do. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of felt like the Bengals snuck by them last year, snuck by and got to the playoffs, whatever route that they snuck to. And I felt like KC was going to correct that this year. It was going to be, ain't no sneaking, ain't no peeking and sneaking around the corners, okay? We about to come through and show you what we're here to do. And then all of a sudden, they were almost out of their game. Given that penalty not happen, that dynamic switches. They have to punt the ball, maybe Bengals come down and do a little something, or maybe not, but it's just, you couldn't get it down and score on us. You couldn't get it down and kick a field goal on us. Now you got the momentum switching in the post game, and maybe the Bengals come up with the win. You know what I'm saying? So being that they skated by, and being that Philly was able to press the gas and just drive over my 49ers because of the injury, so don't delight yourself in too much of that winning spirit, Philly, because granted, your defense did put my quarterback out. You did. So all the coulda, wouldas, and shouldas is out the window. So, because it happened. But I'm just saying, had he been in the game, I think you're looking at a very different game. I don't know if it would have been close. I'm not going to say they would have got past the 49ers had Brock Purdy played in that whole game and, was there the whole way, So, I don't know. But given that gas that they got on that last game, I think they're going to have just a little bit more gas in the tank to finish out this last game and disappoint KC once again. But this your boy Pete Camp. Tell me what your pick is. What you doing on the Super Bowl? What you eating? You got wings, burgers, subs, sandwiches, chips, huh? You got nachos? What you got? What are you spilling on the floor as your team gets scored on and you get angry and flip the whole table upside down? What are you going to throw against the wall? What kind of TV are you going to break when your squad loses? Let me know in the comment section. Put your boy together. Let me know something, man. It's your boy Pete Camp. Tell me what you feel, what you don't feel. Get at your boy.